What's up, YouTube? So we got a couple of trips planned that we're going to be boondocking. The Airstream isn't really set up for boondocking because the water heater that they've installed, the Girard water heater, is very economy, but they wanted to save propane instead of water. So a lot of people are complaining on the forums that when you turn on the shower, you get 30 seconds of cold water, and if you bump the shower temperature too far, you get, another 30 seconds of cold water. And when you have a small water tank, that really adds up. So it's not really a freshwater thing because, we have a spare jug. We can refill our fresh water, but it's a gray water management issue. So we have a couple of things that we're going to install today that is going to hopefully help with that. One is going to be a outdoor shower. The water pressure in an outdoor shower is just absolutely ridiculous. It's kind of like getting water out of a straw. So we're going to install this guy and be able to hook quick connects up to it. Something that we're really nervous and excited about is the ShowerMiser. So this is going to install in the shower and be able to divert water back into the fresh tank while we're waiting for water to heat. And we can also divert water while we're soaping and doing all that stuff. So it keeps you from turning the water on and off, which gives you those cold slugs, which everyone on the internet calls it. And then the last thing that we're going to install is a smart board for our water pump. So this allows the water pump to adjust the pressure instead of just being on and off all the time. So when you're taking a shower, the water pump is just on and off and on and off. And this lets you regulate the pressure depending on what the demand of the water system is. This should be easy. This should be easy. Nervous about this one. We'll see. If we have time after all that, we bought a water filter to install next to our sink. When we originally bought the Airstream, we got one of those really nice water filters that we had in the Winnebago, and I love it, but it's a little much for our setup. It's big and it's bulky, and we don't have anywhere to put it when we're hooked up, so it's usually just laying on the ground somewhere. So we have one of those the blue inline water filters that most RVs use, and then we're just going to have a really nice setup for the sink and be able to use that for drinking and making ice and cooking with. We'll see how it goes. Wish us luck. Let's go. Just to demo what we're dealing with here, this is the shower that came with the Airstream. That's it. That's all you get. There's an on and off switch that doesn't work. This is just stupid cheap. And if you look in here, you can see this is the pipe the water's coming out of. So it's just a straw.
Also leaking.
Yes.
Yeah, that's annoying. So what, 5 screws? Giselle.
So outside shower, and then this is venting for the black and the gray tanks.
Oh.
And back in there is some kind of weird something that I need to do some research on.
Didn't get any of that.
Stupid. This thing is stupid. Shower install is complete. All I did was disconnect the hot and the cold water, and these are the attachment bolts that hold the shower in place. So once I took that off, everything fell out of the outside, and I just put the new one in and hooked everything back up like it was. That was pretty straightforward. So this is the finalized project of us replacing the outside shower. Now I can open this guy up. I bought a flexible hose here. that I can just plug right in. And then now if I'm grilling outside or if I'm disconnecting or reconnecting the sewer line, I have water here that I can use with a little squeegee soap thing. So I can come out here, wash my hands, be clean before I go back inside the Airstream. I think last weekend we were like grilling and I was like trying to go in and out of the Airstream with like grease on my hands. So no more. Now I can do it all outside. Another benefit is we bought an adapter for our water hose, so I can now wash the Airstream or use the water hose with hot or cold water, which would be great for cleaning everything. Good project. Obviously, if you're showering or using water in a very conservative manner, you're going to have the pump clicking on and off, and that's also going to flex the pressure going in and out of the water heater. So that's where a lot of people are complaining that they're getting those like cold cycles, because the water heater is turning on and off when the pump is turning on and off. Hopefully this board is going to fix that. We'll see soon.
Hey, it says there's an installation video.
Yeah, let's put it up.
Gonna get your iPad out.
Second, release the pressure from the water system by opening the faucet. Once the water stops flowing, close it, and that should have removed all of the pressure.
We watched the video online that they recommend you watching from the company, and then we just read through the manual. The directions are not the same. So I think we're just going to do our own little DIY video for all the Airstreamers. So step one was to turn the pump off and then bleed all the pressure. So all you have to do is turn the pump at the switch off, and you want to open one of the faucets just to make sure that you don't have any like pressure building up or anything like that, and to make sure that all the pressure on the system is off.
Hey, there is city water's off too.
City water's off too, yes. There's going to be a little bit of water that comes out when you disconnect the tubes, but that's normal. It's just residual water in there. Let's see. So according to the video, the first thing that they have you do is the electrical system, and then according to the directions here, the first thing they have you do is install the sensor. So I think I want to do the sensor first and then hook up all the electrical. This is the water pump under the bench for the 20 FBs. I've taken off the pressure side of the pump. Whether you have city water connected or you're using the fresh water tank, all water comes through this tube here. You can also see that this is the winterizing tube. It goes through a little pre-filter and then into the pump, and this is where it comes out of the pump and then goes into your internal water system. I've disconnected that. One of the issues that we're going to run into is that the wall of the bench is right here, and we're going to be adding a sensor to that, but luckily they sent us with an elbow. So I'm going to install the elbow here. That way the wall of the bench isn't going to get in the way. Here's the elbow coming off the pressure side of the pump, and then this gray piece is the sensor itself that's going to give data to the board that they sent with us. And then this is going to be the supply line, and we're going to have to hook this back up just in a reverse order somehow. Okay, so here's the elbow, here's the sensor, and then into the factory pressure line. And there's another coupling over here that I disconnected just to have some more room to readjust the hose here. It's just words, man. It's all just words. I usually just kind of skip the instructions and flip over to the wiring manual to see what's going on, but they didn't include one. So I'm gonna have to do reading and stuff. So I think I'm going to put the bench back first before I install the rest of this.
There's also adjustments, and you want to be able to get to the...
Yes, the dip switches.
You want to be able to get to the switches, so it needs to be somewhere we can kind of easily access it. So I'm thinking probably put the bench back in and probably mount it to the bench.
Okay. We can do that. Next, we're going to do the electrical setup. I pulled down the power wire from the pump, and as you can see, the control board already has all the connectors already on. There's that. And then I'm going to reinstall this. Yeah, did it. Yeah. Okay, and then the instructions say to cut the black wire, but since the Airstream has installed these fancy little connection plugs, all you have to do is pull the factory wire out. Like so, and then this is the wire from the pump, which is now going to be the purple wire. So essentially we're bypassing the power to the pump, having it run through the board, and then the board is now connected to the ground of the pump. So red to red, black replaces black, and then purple is the new ground going to the pump. The next step is to turn on the pump power and look for 2 red lights. Alright, so it said that the 2 red lights are supposed to indicate that the sensor is not connected yet. So it said to run water through the system, make sure that there's no air bubbles in it, and then the next step is to connect the sensor. No leaks?
Not that I can see.
No leaks. Dry, dry, dry. Alright, now that all the air is purged from the line, I'm connecting the sensor with the power off. Just like so.
The red LED indicator should now be up. 13th, turn the power off and connect the sensor lead to the pressure sensor. It has an indexing tab that matches the retaining clip. 14th, turn the power back on and the red LED indicator should now be off, and only the green indicators will show. Check thoroughly for leaks to ensure all connections are snug. You could
So now with the sensor connected, I turned the power back on, and it said that you should have green lights with no red. That shows that everything is connected correctly. Next step.
Once installed, you should firmly secure the IRVWPC unit somewhere in the cabinet using the screws provided. If you don't want to screw it in, secure it firmly with double-sided tape, zip ties, or 3M command Velcro strips. And congratulations, you've now installed your brand new IRVWPC unit. Thank you for watching, and if you...
What were the dip switches?
That's setup. This is installation.
Oh.
That's setup.
Okay. Dip switch. Okay, so to recap the setup, what we did is disconnected the pressure side of the water pump. We installed this elbow and the sensor. The pressure side of the water pump is now connected here because we had the bench wall here that was going to block any additional hardware that's coming off. We spliced in the control board to the pump itself. We did that by disconnecting the red wire from the pump, which is now connected to the red wire in the control board. The black wire replaced the black wire coming from Airstream. And then the purple wire now goes to the negative side or the black side of the water pump. That was installation. Now we're moving on to the setup process. So now that we have everything installed, we're going to go through the setup process. The first one is the pressure set point. It says the controller comes preset from the factory on pressure setting number 2, which is 33 psi. Should adjustment be desired, the pressure can be user adjusted by the following steps. Yeah, so it says it goes from 1 to 9. It says number 2, which is what it said on already, is 33 psi, and then number 9 is going to be 44 psi. So I say crank it up to 9. Okay, so inside here you can see here's the dial they're telling us, and then they supplied us with the most little baby screwdriver you've ever seen. So it's on 2 right now. We're going to turn the power off first and then make the adjustment up to 9, which is supposed to be max pressure. Okay, power is off. And then all we have to do is adjust it up. Okay, so now it's on 9. So there's a couple other settings that you can adjust on here for some additional features.
I think we'll just leave it with factory settings.
Yeah, I think we're just gonna leave it with the factory settings now, but this is something we can adjust later if we feel like we want to include different settings or different features.
So here's what everything looks like. The new elbow, all the new connectors, and this guy, which we're gonna figure out where to install as soon as we get the bench back in, which is what we're doing right now. Put the bench back!
That's pretty straightforward.
What are you thinking about mounting the pump controller?
I say we leave it right here and do some 3M tape. This little nook right here. Done. Easy. Next project we're going to work on is the shower system. So we have the ShowerMiser that is supposed to divert your water back into the fresh tank while you're waiting for your water to heat, or while you're saving water to use soap and all that other stuff. So instead of turning the water on and off, you can divert the water back into the fresh tank, and it's just going to cycle through and keep the water warm for you. And you're also going to save the water that you would normally lose while waiting for the water to heat up. So inside the shower here, we have an access panel that we're going to take off. And then the system itself is supposed to install on top of where the shower is connected to the valve here. So once we get the wall off, we'll kind of see better what we're going to need. I'm assuming we're going to need some like PEX fittings and some plumbing and stuff to connect the two sides together, but I won't know until I take the wall out. I do this all the time when I can't see what I'm doing. I can usually stick my phone in there and I'll take a picture and just see what's behind a wall or what's behind the panel or something like that, and then I have a reference to go back to just in case. So I was looking to see if there was going to be a screw behind this shield here, and then as you can see, it's just wide open for the plumbing to go through, so we're going to be good there.
is sealed in there.
caulked. Unnecessary when there were 5 screws. Well.
Like pocket holes.
Holy crap! We got the wall out.
Got a video of it?
It's going. All right. This is what it looks like behind the wall. We've got, I think, all the access we're gonna need. Wow.
Wow. Wow.
So we just got the wall out, and so there was a little screw behind here in a pocket screw that was holding the wall here to this trim piece, and so Josh had to, like, from inside the shower unscrew that. But then once that was done and the other screws were out, and you saw him like run a butter knife kind of behind here because there was a little bit of epoxy or sealant right here. And so after that, it just completely lifted out. It was very easy. You can see where the screws were in. And then this is what it looks like behind. So this is in the molded pieces of the shower. So this is where the storage is in the shower. And then down here is the faucet. So this is where we're gonna be mainly working. And then we're gonna tap into some of these lines to do the recirculation. So all in all, going kind of how we planned so far. We'll hope that it keeps going as well.
So right now I'm kind of mentally just going through the install process. I have all the parts here. This is the selector valve for the diverter. And then this tube is going to connect to one of these and then have to go back into the wall behind the shower.
So hold that up again.
So let's say it goes like this. So this is going to install on the factory shower outlet. And then we're going to take one of the hoses off and then connect it to the other side. And so you'll have a setup similar to this, and then you'll be able to divert the water back into the fresh tank or have it come out of the shower head. I think I might need to turn this over, which should be easy now that I have access to the back, because it's either going to go like this or something similar to that. I'm trying to like run through the scenarios so that when we go to Home Depot or Lowe's, we got an idea of what parts we're going to need.
How much PEX line and
Right.
that sort of thing. Yeah, I was thinking the same about flipping it over.
Yeah. So this is another cool feature that it came just with this name brand, which is part of the reason why we bought it. When you divert the water and then turn the supply on to wait for the water to heat up, this blue area is going to change colors when it's ready for you to shower. So you don't have to like turn the water on not knowing if it's going to be hot or not.
That blue will change like red or clear or something?
I think it changes clear when it gets warm.
Oh.
So it'll be, it's a nice feature. We'll kind of have to see which way we're going to go with this, but yeah. So we need to go to Lowe's or Home Depot or something like that and get some PEX line and some fittings and get ready for the other side of the wall, because what they did not send us is a line to reconnect this to the fresh tank. Alright, so this is kind of the setup that I've decided to go with. I flipped the shower connection over so it's pointing down, and then we have the shower hose connected here, and then the ShowerMiser is going to go back through the wall and then down into the fresh tank pickup. So I just kind of like roughly put everything together just to see like what it would look like, and I need to mark where to drill the hole for this guy right here. Yeah, so far so good. I don't see any issues. We had to go to the hardware store and pick up some fittings to connect into the existing system. So once I get a hole marked for this, then we can start installing the backside equipment. Easy so far.
Oh, that's the new one.
Yeah. Oh God. Oh God. Oh God. It is ruined.
Wow, it's so thin.
Next, we are doing our
You want that little rubber seal thing?
through hole.
Through hole. Look, here's the washer thing. That
Okay.
washer is there instead of caulk.
Yep.
I don't. Okay.
Sure.
I might just caulk around it anyway, but.
Whatever you say, instructions. Okay.
This is like diverted and then
Shower.
shower.
Yep.
And that can't be straight. I guess it's okay where it is.
Yeah. Kind of pushing it back out of the way.
Yeah. Alright, that's it for inside the shower.
Moving on to the back of the shower, what we originally thought was we were going to take some PEX piping and tap it into the water supply going to the fresh tank, but the fresh tank is completely inaccessible without pulling out the shower and a lot of other stuff. So what we ultimately decided is we found this 6-foot dishwasher drain hose at the hardware store. I tapped onto the back where the ShowerMiser comes out. I ran it around behind the back of the shower, and we bought a T-fitting to tap into where the freshwater fill hose is. So the pipe goes from the back of the shower, from the ShowerMiser, underneath the shower, around to the corner here, and I just cut the freshwater fill hose and put a T-fitting in so that all the water that's diverted from the shower just goes right back into the fresh tank.
So here is the inside of the shower part. You can see Josh has it set up just like he thought. And then if you come around to the back, this is where it comes out, and then that's that flexible hose that he just showed you. And then it goes down and under and around to the back, and then we'll show you from the outside where that hooks up.
So back here is where the freshwater fill is. I was able to cut the pipe and just connect the T-fitting in line with the freshwater fill. This gray part here is the T-fitting that we installed, and then the part that comes off to the left is where the ShowerMiser taps in from the shower.
And that just came off with a couple screws and then goes back on with a couple screws?
Yep, so this just popped off with 4 screws, and let's reinstall it and then make sure it works. We'll turn the water on. Hey, come on in. So just to check everything out, I'm going to turn the water on. And obviously the shower bypass is on right now because no shower is coming out of the shower head. This little pipe right here turns gray when the water is hot. And then we can check back here and make sure there's no leaks. So water is now being bypassed through this drain hose, back through the freshwater fill hose. Let's go outside and make sure that everything's working correctly. Come back here and check. You can see the water is just going right into the fill hose and then back into the fresh tank. Okay, so here's how I take a shower to conserve water. First, I decide what temperature I want my hot water. So I usually use 111. That's about the sweet spot that I like to take a shower. Now, when you turn on the water in the shower, it's going to take a little while for that water to get hot. So with the ShowerMiser, while that water is getting hot, it's just converting the water, it's diverting the water back into the fresh tank. So with the water at 111, I turn the water all the way on hot. That way the water heater does not cycle on and off, and you're not going to get those cold water spurts like a lot of people complain about. So right now the water is heating up. I would be getting ready for my shower. And then as soon as I notice that the water's at 111 on the display, I can check to make sure that the tube here is changing to gray. And then by turning this valve here,
so it's at 106 now. So I would turn this counterclockwise. Get the water to come out. Okay, so you get wet your hair, wet your body, and then you turn the diverter back so that the water's going back to the fresh tank while you shampoo, soap up, shave your legs, whatever you need to do. And then you're not wasting any water. You're not putting any more in the gray tank. You're not using more of that fresh water if you're boondocking. And then when you're ready to rinse, you just flip it back one more time. Rinse all your soap, shampoo, rinse everything off, and then you're done, and you turn the water back completely off. And that whole time, we've never cycled the water heater off. So you've maintained that hot water the entire time. And you've only hopefully used a couple of gallons of water and only put a couple of gallons into your gray tank. We spent a lot of time last weekend while we were camping running around to hardware stores, so we didn't get to the water filter install. So we're here today in our driveway and we're gonna try to get this done because next weekend we're camping for Memorial Day at Edisto Beach State Park. And I've read a lot of reviews that the water is really terrible there. So we want to make sure that we have some really good drinking water and don't have to stock up on bottled water, which we really hate to do. So today we're going to install the water filter. So I guess while Josh is working on a couple other things, doing some prep work, I'm going to clear out this cabinet to give us room to work. So here's the full kit. So everything came in one box. This is all directly from the manufacturer, and we bought this on Amazon. So you see the actual filter set. It's going to get mounted on the wall. There's some instructions and a little plate for assisting you with drilling. There's water line and connector, like valves and things. There's an entire little thing with bits and bobs. You've got your labels for your filters so you know when to change them. And then this is the faucet kit that I was saying. We're going to decide if we want to install that. So Josh right now is taking a look inside the cabinet. Josh, you want to show us where we're thinking of putting this?
Yeah, so just so everybody can get oriented, this is the back of the Airstream. You can see the sink. And then over here is going to be our stove and microwave. But underneath our sink, there's a corner storage here that goes down and around. And now you're looking at the wall that separates the microwave from under the sink storage. So I think I'm going to mount it here.
False wall, probably.
Yeah, there's a false wall.
So you're gonna install a false wall.
Yes, right here. Hopefully I'm pointing you to the right spot. So there's a wall here that separates the microwave from the storage down here, and we're gonna try to put it on this wall. And then we just need to run the plumbing back over to where the sink is connected.
Phase 1 done.
Ugh.
Now you gotta do the plumbing.
Whew. Yep. Next step.
You want it to be like pretty far to the side, but it can't be in the way of that, and it can't be in the way of that. So there's like that much difference there. Yeah, probably like right there. So that would be here. I don't think that's in the way. Do you?
No.
You can still get to the thing to turn it on. like here. Too far back. What do you think?
Yep, right there.
And then top of this guy back. That looks right to me. So before we installed the smart controller on the pump, if you weren't on full blast, you would get pulses in the pump. And now you can see that we've solved that problem. So the water is a steady stream, not at full blast, which is really nice. So before, you had to be on all the way to not get those. And it does take it a second to kind of figure it out and regulate it. But now I can go back, and if you give it just a second, the controller will figure it out. And see, now it's a steady stream. Before we could not do that with our pump.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, we're just doing the 5-minute test to clear out the filter, the new filters, and then we're done with this project.